So, how are you doing, English 10 friends? Mrs. Felty and Mrs. Miranda and I have felt a little bit stressed out lately. We think that we're having a hard time adjusting to all of the demands of school. Do you ever feel that way? You know, one thing that I think is really important, that we all think is really important here in our English class, is that you never feel like you are alone in your frustrations or your celebrations, because it's no fun to celebrate something alone, right? I mean, yeah, there's a certain point where like you don't have to show your birthday cake if you're the only one celebrating, but isn't it part of the fun of celebrating something, having someone there with you to do it? And at the same time, sometimes we want to be alone to like sulk over our frustrations, but it's really healthier to be together. So we want to remind you that we are here. We're a phone call away, or you can email us, message us in Message Center. Please check your messages. And WebEx has been really fun. We were getting a lot of great reviews. In fact, if you want to see some student reviews, we didn't set anybody up. We just put a discussion board out there. Check out the discussion board and see student reviews of WebEx and see if maybe you would try it. It will help you feel like you're connected. Those sessions are on Mondays and Tuesdays at 11, and on Thursdays we have a special therapy session, and it's just a lot of fun. We joke around and laugh and share our good news. What do we need? What do we need to do this week? Let's get to that real quickly. It's a little lighter week, I believe. At least that's how I felt like when I was looking at it. In terms of your workload. In the reading folder, and by the way, on Monday, Mrs. Miranda will go over reading folder and reading concepts with you in our WebEx. In Reading Workshop. So in our Reading Workshop folder, we're mostly focusing in on vocabulary and context clues. And this is something that should be fairly review for you, and really actually a lot of this year is going to be review for you. But sometimes it's good just to have a little refresher, dust off the old brain and figure out what it is that helps us to identify the correct definitions of words when we are reading something. And it also builds up our writing, which on Tuesday we're going to have our writing workshop with me. And in writing workshop this week, we're working on making a really good ending. And we're going to talk about how to transition into that ending and how to wrap it up in a nice little package so that it really makes people remember what we've written. And I think it's important to understand that or know that studies have shown that people remember the very first thing you say and the very last thing you say better than anything else. So conclusions are very important in writing. I don't have all my classroom exercises open, but most of the work this week is done in a auto-graded quiz, and I want to take a moment to talk about those. I'm actually taking an online class in the evenings, and it's difficult right now for me because I get frustrated and don't want to ask questions about the work, and all of a sudden I thought, that's how my students feel. And I was really frustrated at the quiz last night that I took over and over again. I mean, it was 10 o'clock, I'm taking this quiz, it lets me release it to myself. And I was so frustrated because it was only 5 questions, and I only missed 2, but it's a 60%, and I was really irritated, and it made me think of you guys. I want to tell you, the reason our quizzes are short is so that we can kind of get to the point and not like rehash the same things over and over again. But because those quizzes are short, they often can trip you up in a grade sense. So please, if you fail a quiz, will you call us or hit the button to ask for a release of the quiz, or email us in Message Center and ask us to reset that. Usually we'll tell you a little review and give you some hints on what to do to make that quiz better. But most of the time you already know. Like when I was retaking the quiz, I still don't know. And I'm really not sure. I might send a message to my professor. I want you to know that you're really heard here, okay? So please, don't be embarrassed. There's no dumb questions. We'll never tell you, you should have known that, you're on your own, okay? We'll never do that stuff to you. We want you to be independent learners, but part of that independent learning process is knowing what you need and knowing who to ask for it and how to ask. And we just ask that you keep asking. So lots of auto-graded quizzes this week, which is fun because you don't have as much to do. Also, play cleanup. Go into your student dashboard and check out some of the grade, your updated grade there. It's not completely accurate because it gives you zeros for anything that was just assigned for the next week, so don't let that freak you out. but it does also identify the assignments you may have skipped inadvertently or by mistake. So would you please check that out? And we've added a few little things to the classroom that we think you'll like. One says calling all readers and the other one says calling all writers. And we'll talk more about those later, but you might want to nose around. You might find some fun stuff.